Hi fans, I'm the PC Expert Amateur, and this is episode 28 of the Airflow and Pressure Differential series of 120 millimeter fans. And as always, I want to remind you that this is the anemometer that I use, and unfortunately it doesn't have enough precision for me to get perfectly accurate measurements, especially as the numbers get larger because of that. So the numbers lower down are pretty accurate, but at a certain point they stop being accurate. However, that doesn't mean I can't use them to rank the fans. It's still totally possible to do that because the effect is the same across the board in terms of like mathematically, I guess you could say. So just wanted you to remember that. And I use cubic meters per hour, not cubic feet per minute. Now, the fans that we are going to be looking at today are the Delta AFC 1212DE Y4574, which is a PWM fan. The SilverStone FN121, which has, it does come with a grill. The Enermax TB Silence, which is the UCT B12. There's more than one TB Silence. The Evercool AL12025 with its aluminum frame. And the Noctua Redux 120 NFP12 Redux 1700 PWM, which looks like that. And as always, I'm going to put up the information about the RPMs, and I'd really like it if you put in the comments your guesses as to which fan will have the lowest RPM, the lowest airflow and the lowest pressure differential, and which fans will have the highest airflow and the highest pressure differential. Okay, here you go. So the Enermax is supposed to be around 900. Mine measured at 968.3. The SilverStone was supposed to be 1200. Mine measured at 1331.1. The Noctua is supposed to be around 1700. Mine measured 1720. The Evercool was supposed to be around 2200, and mine measured at 2420, which is rather a bit, higher. Then the Delta was supposed to measure at 39,000. Mine measured 4040. Okay, so go ahead and put your guesses into the comments. Please don't change them later. And it doesn't matter if you get the answers right or wrong. That's not the point. The point is to learn. And unsurprisingly, the Enermax is the worst at 112.2, followed by the SilverStone, then the Noctua, then the Evercool. I'll bet you, and then the Delta. And the Evercool and Delta are, they're very strong, but the Delta is much stronger at 160 or 0.2 more than the Evercool. So did you get those right? Let's see if you got pressure differential right. And again, this is not a competition. Enermax, unsurprisingly, at 47, the worst. Then the SilverStone, then the Noctua, then the Evercool, and again, the Delta at 90, putting it in the top 5 of the fans for pressure differential. All right, now it's time to go ahead and look at the whole list so we can see where all of those fans rank. And surprise, surprise, the Enermax beat out the Kingwin as for second. It's at the second place for being the worst fan for RPMs. Now again, remember, RPMs are not the final arbiter of how a fan will perform for any specification, because there are a lot of other factors like the hub size, the fan blade design, and the frame design, as well as quality and other factors. But this fan does move pretty darn slowly, and as a consequence, it doesn't perform particularly well. But it is quiet, which is why they call it the TV silence. The SilverStone is also in the first quartile, near the other end. And let's see where we're going to get to the next one. Aha! The Noctua is in the second quartile. I mean, it's a lot stronger than the first one, the Enermax, but yeah. And now we have in the third quartile the Evercool, which isn't really surprising given how strong it is. And the Delta is the fourth fastest fan in the list so far. I mean, there are others. Don't worry. We'll get some others in there. Now it's going to look a little bit different for pressure differential. We don't have anything at the top with the Lambtron and the UNM Life at 20 and 21. The nearest one is the Enermax, though, at 47. And that's still the first quartile. So let's take a peek at the second quartile. And we've got the SilverStone by Everflow. Yes, SilverStone did not always make their own fans. At 62, and I think the Noctua is actually in the third quartile, just barely, but I'm not exactly sure on that one. At 64, not really a difference between the SilverStone and the Noctua. Yep, that would be the third quartile. The Evercool and the Delta are in the fourth quartile, with the Evercool in, what is that, about 12th place, and the Delta is in third place. So let's find out about the airflow. And here it is. So the Enermax dropped way down into the bottom 10 at 112.2. Precarious position in the fourth quartile. And I'm sure there are going to be many more fans that pump it even lower. The SilverStones looks to be in the second quartile, very near the third quartile, where the Noctua is. And the Evercool and the Delta, again, are in the fourth quartile. Evercool's dropped a little bit. I think it's closer to about 15 now. Maybe 7, maybe 18. And then the Delta, fourth place. So that's very respectable performance for the Delta and also for the Evercool. Let's take an overview now so you can kind of look at all the criteria here and see if you can come up with a theory someday. And if you do, about, maybe like looking at RPMs and airflow and pressure differential and seeing if you can figure out other things about the fan from those things. And so take a quick look. Well, not a quick look. I'm going to go through this slowly. Just take a look, and maybe this will help you to decide which fan you might want to buy, especially for an exhaust fan, because airflow is great for exhaust. If it doesn't also have high static pressure, it's not going to be good on an intake. So keep that in mind. And there we go. That is the whole list. I hope that this has helped you. And of course, if you have any questions, please put them down below. As always, I am measuring the fans using all the available power options that they have. So a lot of these fans have both a 3-pin or a 4-pin and MolXD. A small number have switches or dials or something like that make it more complicated, but I still try to get it in there. So if you have any questions again, or comments, or just want to say thank you, or hey, that helped me, or whatever, any comments are appreciated as long as you're not being a jackass. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.
I need to ask for your help. Things have been challenging. Whose life hasn't been challenging lately? So if you can please help me out by liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, and turning on notifications, that would be really, really super. Also, if you'd like to help me financially and you can't afford to, you can do a super thanks on my Glenn's Fast Reviews channel. or you can become a member there. Or if you prefer, you can go to patreon.com/GLENNMII and become a member there instead. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Bleeping Computer for their support of my channel. If you need resources for computers, for getting rid of malware and learning about cybersecurity and stuff, Bleeping Computer, BLEEPING computer.com is a great resource. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.